The mirror shatters, and with it, my sanity. I am Jinx, or at least I think I am. The asylum walls close in, their peeling paint a stark reminder of my fractured reality. Blood drips from my fingertips, a crimson testament to the brutality that just unfolded. Did I win? Or did I lose everything? Rewind. The story begins not with a whimper, but with a bang. My eyes snap open, electric blue hair matted to my forehead with sweat. The first thing I notice is the stench, a nauseating cocktail of decay, antiseptic, and something far worse. I'm strapped to a bed, leather restraints biting into my wrists and ankles. Panic rises in my throat as I struggle against my bonds, the metal frame creaking ominously. "Welcome to your nightmare, Jinx," a voice crackles through hidden speakers. Or should I say, "Welcome home?" I laugh, a manic sound that echoes off the grimy walls. Home sweet home, huh? You clearly haven't met my interior decorator. As my eyes adjust to the dim light, I take in my surroundings. The room is a decrepit mess, with cracked tiles and mold creeping up the corners. But it's the mirrors that catch my attention. Dozens of them, covering every available surface. Each one shows a different reflection, a twisted version of myself. In one, I'm covered in blood, grinning maniacally. In another, I'm cowering in fear, eyes wide with terror. Suddenly, the restraints release with a hiss. I roll off the bed, landing in a crouch, my muscles tense and ready for action. But there's no immediate threat, just the endless reflections of myself, watching, waiting. I make my way to the door, my bare feet slapping against the cold floor. It's unlocked, swinging open with an ominous creak. The corridor beyond is a labyrinth of shadows and flickering lights. And mirrors. Always more mirrors. As I venture deeper into the asylum, memories start to surface. Flashes of explosions, the acrid smell of gunpowder, the thrill of chaos. But there are other memories too, ones that don't feel like mine. A circus, the crackle of pink energy, a team of teenage superheroes. Who am I? I whisper to my reflections. They offer no answer, only more questions. The sound of footsteps echoes down the corridor. I press myself against the wall, heart pounding. A figure emerges from the shadows, and I find myself staring at myself, but not quite. This Jinx has pale gray skin and pink cat-like eyes. Her hair is styled into devil horns, and she wears a black and purple outfit that screams, "Bad luck." Well, 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 she drawls, a smirk playing on her lips. Looks like the loony bins got 2 Jinxes for the price of 1. I raise an eyebrow, my hand instinctively reaching for a weapon that isn't there. Cute cosplay, but I'm the real deal, sweetheart. She laughs, a sound that sends shivers down my spine. Oh, honey, I'm as real as they come. The name's Jinx, bad luck charm extraordinaire. For a moment, we size each other up, 2 predators circling their prey. Then, without warning, she attacks. Pink energy crackles from her fingertips, slamming into my chest and sending me flying into a wall of mirrors. Glass shatters around me, each shard reflecting a fragment of our battle. I roll to my feet, ignoring the cuts and bruises. Adrenaline surges through my veins as I charge at her, tackling her to the ground. We grapple on the floor, a tangle of limbs and fury. Her nails rake across my face, drawing blood, while I slam her head against the ground repeatedly. "What's the matter, Blue?" she taunts, spitting blood. "Can't handle a little bad luck?" I growl, wrapping my hands around her throat. "I'll show you bad luck, you cheap knockoff." Just as spots start to appear in her vision, she manages to knee me in the stomach. I double over, gasping for air, and she takes the opportunity to scramble away. We both stagger to our feet, breathing heavily. The corridor around us is in shambles, broken glass and debris littering the floor. Our reflections watch us from the remaining mirrors. a kaleidoscope of violence and madness. "What is this place?" I demand, wiping blood from my chin. "Why are we here?" She shrugs, her casual demeanor at odds with the intensity in her eyes. "Your guess is as good as mine, Blue. Last thing I remember, I was causing some quality chaos in Jump City. Then poof, I wake up in Creepsville, USA. A memory surfaces. Jump City, the Teen Titans. But it feels wrong, like a movie I've watched rather than a life I've lived. This doesn't make sense, I mutter, more to myself than to her. I'm Jinx, the loose cannon from Zon, Piltover's most wanted. I don't know anything about Jump City or Titans or whatever. Her eyes narrow. Zon? Piltover? Now who's talking crazy? Before we can continue our discussion, a blood-curdling scream echoes through the asylum. We both tense, instinctively moving closer together in the face of an unknown threat. Truce? I offer, extending a hand. She eyes it warily before clasping it in her own. Truce. For now. Together, we make our way deeper into the asylum. The corridors twist and turn, defying logic and geometry. Sometimes we find ourselves walking on the ceiling. Other times the walls shift and breathe like living things. Always there are mirrors, showing us nightmarish versions of ourselves and each other. In one room, we find a grotesque operating theater. Rusted instruments lie scattered on blood-stained tables, and the air is thick with the stench of decay. A figure in a lab coat stands with his back to us, hunched over a corpse. Hey, Doc, my doppelganger calls out, her voice dripping with false sweetness. Got any lollipops for good little patients? The figure turns, and we both recoil in horror. His face is a patchwork of different skins, crudely stitched together. Where his eyes should be, there are only empty, weeping sockets. Ah, my star subjects, he rasps, his lipless mouth twisting into a grotesque smile. How goes the experiment? I step forward, anger overriding my revulsion. What experiment? What have you done to us? He cackles, the sound grating against my ears. Done to you, my dear. I've set you free. Free to explore the depths of your shared psyche, to confront the darkness that lurks within both of you. Shared psyche? The other Jinx scoffs. Sorry, Doc, but I don't share anything with little Miss Blue over here. The doctor's head swivels towards her, empty sockets somehow focusing on her face. Oh, but you do. You are two sides of the same coin, two manifestations of chaos and destruction. In another world, another time, you might have been one and the same. As he speaks, the mirrors around us come to life. They show flashes of our lives, my rampages through Piltover, her battles with the Teen Titans. But they also show other things. A lonely child in an orphanage, a scared girl running from shadowy pursuers, a young woman embracing the thrill of destruction to numb her pain. You're lying, I snarl, but doubt creeps into my voice. This is just some sick mind game. The doctor spreads his arms wide, gesturing to the asylum around us. All of this is a mind game, my dear. The question is, whose mind are we in? Yours? Hers? Or perhaps both? With a roar of frustration, I lunge at him. But my hands pass right through his body, and he dissipates like smoke, his laughter echoing in the air. Well, that was helpful, my counterpart drawls. Got any other bright ideas, Blue? I turn to face her, my mind racing. We need to find a way out of here. There has to be an exit somewhere. She rolls her eyes. And go where? In case you haven't noticed, this whole place is like a bad acid trip. For all we know, there is no out there. As much as I hate to admit it, she has a point. But standing still isn't an option either. Then we keep moving. We find answers, or we make our own exit. We continue our journey through the asylum, each room more nightmarish than the last. In one, We find a nursery filled with mutilated dolls that whisper our darkest secrets. In another, we're forced to relive our worst memories. I watch helplessly as my friends in Zahn are gunned down, while she experiences the betrayal and rejection that led her to villainy. Throughout it all, we catch glimpses of the Doctor. Sometimes he's in the mirrors, other times he's just a shadow at the corner of our eyes. His presence is a constant reminder that we're rats in a maze, dancing to his twisted tune. As we delve deeper, the line between us begins to blur. I find myself finishing her sentences, while she instinctively knows how to use my weapons when we find a cache of guns and explosives. It's unsettling, like we're slowly merging into one being. Finally, we reach the heart of the asylum, a massive circular room lined with hundreds of mirrors. In the center stands a single, ornate mirror, its surface rippling like water. "End of the line, kiddos!" The Doctor's voice booms from everywhere and nowhere. "Time to face your reflection." We approach the central mirror cautiously. As we get closer, our reflections begin to shift and change. I see myself as the Teen Titans Jinx, while she sees herself as me. "What is this?" she whispers, reaching out to touch the mirror's surface. "The truth," the Doctor replies. "You are one and the same, split across dimensions, but only one Jinx can exist in any given reality. It's time to decide which of you that will be." The implications hit us both like a ton of bricks. We turn to face each other, the weight of the Doctor's words hanging heavy in the air. "So what now?" I ask, my voice barely above a whisper. "We fight to the death? Winner takes all?" She shrugs, a sad smile playing on her lips. "Looks like it, Blue. For what it's worth, I'm sorry it has to end this way." "Yeah," I nod, feeling a strange kinship with this other version of myself. "Me too." For a moment, we stand there, two sides of the same coin, united in our shared tragedy. Then, as if by some unspoken signal, we attack. The room erupts into chaos. Pink energy blasts shatter mirrors left and right, while my bullets ricochet off walls and floors. We move in perfect synchronization, each anticipating the other's moves before they happen. I duck under a hex bolt, feeling the heat of it singe my hair as it passes. In retaliation, I sweep her legs out from under her, slamming her into the ground. She retaliates by headbutting me, stars exploding behind my eyes. We roll across the floor, a tangle of limbs and fury. Blood and sweat mix with tears as we tear into each other, neither willing to give an inch. It's brutal, primal, and strangely intimate, like fighting with a part of yourself. "Just die! Already!" She grunts, her hands wrapped around my throat. I gasp for air, spots dancing in my vision. With the last of my strength, I reach for a shard of broken mirror. "You first." The shard plunges into her side and she lets out a scream of agony. Her grip loosens, and I shove her off me, scrambling to my feet. She lies there, blood pooling beneath her, her pink eyes wide with shock. "Guess bad luck. Finally caught up with me, huh?" I kneel beside her, tears streaming down my face. "I'm sorry," I whisper, cradling her head in my lap. "I'm so sorry." She reaches up, her hand cupping my cheek. "Don't be. It was always going to end this way. Just promise me something?" I nod, choking back a sob. "Anything." "Live," she says, her voice growing weaker. "Live for both of us. And raise a little hell while you're at it, yeah?" With that, she closes her eyes and goes still. As her body fades away, I feel a rush of memories and emotions, her entire life merging with mine. I stand, my legs shaky, but my resolve firm. The central mirror still ripples, waiting for me. With one last look around the shattered room, I step through. I am Jinx. I am chaos incarnate, the loose cannon of Zahn and the bad luck charm of Jump City. I am one, and I am many. And I have a lot of hell to raise.